Hey, what's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bells. Every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. Hey, this story, this is a sad and angering story on all levels. It comes out of Florida. And it's about a boy. He's 17 years old, but he's like 6'6", 270. And he beat this woman unconscious, right? In school. This was like a few months ago. He was arrested, had $1 million bail, and just look at that, cut and dry. Case closed, right? So he got mad because his teacher took his Nintendo Switch game. Right? Okay. But then you look deep into the story, and you see the boy has autism. Now, from what I've been told, there are many spectrums and forms of autism, and kids react in different ways. I've known a child that if you play like sounds real loud, it'll irritate them. They like cover their ears up, and they would get they'll start yelling. They'll just freak out, right? And you'd be like, "What's wrong with that child? Something wrong with them." Child could have some form of autism. I've seen with kids, will sit there and look at something and would just rock back and forth. And they be zoned out and be like looking at a screen and computer screen, laptop, TV, and they just be zoned out and they rocking back and forth. Their eyes like wide open. And people say, man, something wrong with that kid. That kid crazy, that kid weird, but it could be some form of autism. And there are some kids who are violent. And it's just it's an illness, it's a sickness, something wrong with their neurons or whatever the case may be. But it is a problem, and it's something that has to be dealt with. I don't know if it can be fixed, but it has to be dealt with and monitored and managed on a daily basis. And so here you have a boy who has a history of violent behaviors. And they trying to throw the book at this guy. Even the lady that he beat down, there's a video. There's no alleged. There's a video out there. And I mean, good Lord. This guy like say 6'6", about 270. This woman like she about 5'5", like 105 pounds wet. And he, Charles, he threw this woman, he made that woman fly across the room. When she hit the ground, she was out. But anyway, the issue is, why was this environment created anyway? Why was this environment allowed? How could this have happened? Let's say that. And so we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna go through 2 Daily Mail articles. One is back in February, the other one is maybe a few days ago about this situation. And then I'm gonna give pretty much my input. So the first one, it says that the hulking 6'6" boy 17 who viciously beat his teacher's aide unconscious is held on $1 million bond, will be charged as an adult and face up to 30 years in prison after being arrested 3 times for battery in 2019. So this boy, he's 18 now. 2009, 4 years ago. So when he was 13, 14 years old, he was arrested 3 times for battery. Now I'm wondering, did they know he had autism then? Because if they did, again, why is he in this situation? But let's continue. The boy name is Brendan Deep of 17, can be named for the first time after the 7th Judicial Court of Florida ruled that he would be transferred to adult court. It said he's facing an aggravated battery charge after he allegedly, like I say, and allegedly, you can see what happened, attacked Joanne Nadich, 57, at Matanzas High School on February 21st. The teenager threw the teacher's assistant onto the floor before repeatedly punching and kicking her. Let's see, 17, see that he's facing that great, we already read that part. It said the 6'6" and 270-pound student was caught on camera viciously beating the quote unquote humble, that they do that anyway. How they subscribe to the victims or them folk. The humble mother of 2 until she was unconscious. Hell, she was unconscious when she hit the ground. Like seriously, let's just be honest. With Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley warning it could have been a homicide. Yeah, it could have. If they didn't get him out, I don't think he was gonna stop beating that woman. He was seen kicking her to the ground before, he knocking her to the ground before kicking and punching the unconscious woman at least 15 times in the back and the head. I mean, he's like hitting her whole body. I mean, and it is a disturbing video, and and to her, this is horrible. I wish this on nobody. Shouldn't nobody be treated like should go through this kind of violence, be beaten like this, but should nobody be putting their hands on both sides, should nobody be going through this at all. Shouldn't have to go through this. This is disturbing. I can understand her and how she's feeling, but the question is, do she really understand the levels of autism or this boy history? And again, why was this situation even available? I mean, able to even be to happen. Say those convicted of aggravated battery of a school board official in Florida can face up to 30 years in jail for the first-degree felony. So Deepa has been ordered not to contact the teaching assistant by the court. Why in the hell would he even come? But that's legal. It's all legal. And he will appear for his arraignment on March 6th. Documents seen by Daily Mail show Deepa was charged with battery 3 times in 2019 before the attack this month. He previously completed a Department of Juvenile Justice program. Sheriff Staley supported the decision to charge him as an adult in the latest incident. I'm gonna bring race into it right quick. This is a big black dude. Now, from what I hear, he's adopted. I think adopted by a white family. But I mean, it's neither here nor there. But in the courts, I'm just sorry, man. They look at us a little different. It's been studies shown that they look at our youngest children, damn near like adults, like we superhumans, like we super monsters, like we can't be hurt physically. We can go through so much, probably because they put us through so much during slavery. They just couldn't believe how we survived, so they probably do think we like superhumans. But that's not our fault. That's on y'all. But for him to say that, yeah, he should get 30 years in prison, not a guy with a mentality like this. It said, according to the state attorney's office, Deepa did actually and intentionally touch or strike the victim against the will of, and in doing so, use a deadly weapon, and or intentionally or knowingly cause great bodily harm, permanent disability, or permanent disfigurement. Damn, I ain't seen no recent picture of the woman. He said the sheriff also stated students is just 6 months shy of 18, and it was also a brutal attack on his teacher. Fortunately, it didn't result in fatality. Could have been a homicide, which is true. But it's like I said, she's at home recovering. Let's see. Now the dude, let's see. Let's say she has a son who attends the high school and a daughter who graduated in 2013. So again, I'm trying to figure out what kind of school is this? Like I said, why is this dude with this history at a regular school? So it seems. Nadich has, they spelled her name 2 different ways, has worked for Flagler County Schools since 2004 and at Matanzas since 2021. A GoFundMe for the teacher has raised nearly $60,000. This is in February right now. It's like well over $100,000 right now. And describes her as humble and says she's never asked for help, adding that she needs love and support during a difficult time. I'm quite sure she needs her bills paid. In surveillance footage, she should be suing the school, which I haven't heard that yet, but I'm sure it's going to come after this boy gets sentenced. In surveillance footage released by the sheriff, the student can be seen. He said the hulking student can be seen rushing up to Nadich before launching her across the room, her body flying several feet. Yeah, it did. God damn. She hits the ground head first, rendering her unconscious, with the student immediately kicking Nadich before kneeling down to punch her in the head and torso. I think he did like all over the body. Another woman runs up to the student and grabs his arm, but is unable to pull him off the aid before several others rush to drag him off her. Here's a quick question, off topic, on topic. Where are the men in the schools? We've said before, this is a problem, especially dealing with young boys. There's just something, and women don't understand this, and I don't understand why, but guys look at women, regularly sane guys, not guys with autism or got some kind of brain disorder or smoke weed all day or whatever. Guys, like normal guys, there's just we look at women different when it comes to authority. There is, unfortunately, a lack of respect when it comes to women, when it comes to authority, because one, a lot of times, now this is coming from an older guy, I understand a lot of y'all decisions are emotional, proving the point. I'm the baddest person on the block. You're gonna do what I say or else, and no matter what, I'll cut off my nose, spite my face, just to prove a point to you. That's how y'all operate. A lot of women operate. But there's just something about a woman trying to tell a boy what to do compared to a man. Men can have a different type of authority, can come across to the boys differently, and they can understand, and we understand it. It's another level of respect. Take it more seriously. It's just, matter of fact, I'll say with any child, it's just the nature of the beast. I can say with probably my own kids when they was growing up, they respected me differently than they respected their mom. I know she used to have issues like, how come when she say something, they just look at her, don't listen, but I could just walk in the room and things just change. Well, hell, you can see that on 1,000 videos online on social media that show you that's just what it is. Regardless of what you like and don't like, that's just how it is. So embrace it and use it to your advantage. That's the way I see it. But anyway, there are too many women, especially, I say white women, who are running these schools, who are controlling these schools. You need to have some kind of male leadership in the building. You have to have. There has to be at least 50-50. If it ain't leadership, my gosh, there got to be teachers, got to be some security, something, because when a boy gets a certain age, he is going to test the authority. I remember doing it when I was in 6th grade with my dad. Got chopped down real quick, never did it again. It happens. You can ask any man who has a son or dealing with boys at a certain age. That's why a lot of these teachers don't like teaching 6th graders and 9th graders, because that is around the times where in 3rd graders, for some reason, that's when kids are trying to find themselves. And when they get older, they get bigger, but then they get stronger. But then they can test their dad, they can test the coach, they can test any male figure out there. And they need somebody who can deal with them. So you take that same mentality, same thought process, and you try to deal with a boy and you are a female. Well, damn, I know you can't handle me because you are a woman. I look at you as a weaker vessel. And I know I could just, the dude here could probably just slap you across the room and keep it moving because your little itty bitty self can't handle me. Now, Mr. Temple, what I'm saying, Mr. Horn, shout out to them too, those two of my instructors back in high school back in the day, respectable guys, men, them guys can probably handle it. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of them sizing up things. But some little woman, whatever, unless I'm brown nosing or trying to, get with you or something like that, go on about your business. But that's all I'm saying. I saw this video and I may have seen one. I don't see one dude here that came until later. Then the only minute you see a police. That's just a powder keg waiting to blow up. Like seriously. It says another woman runs to the student and grabs his arm, but is unable to pull him off the aid before several others rush to drag him off her. Even after they manage to push him to the ground, he still reaches his leg out to hit Nadich a few more times. It takes 5 staff members to restrain and drag him away from her body as he fought against them. Where is this video? Let me see. Because I want to see. So yeah, 1. little bitty women, woman, up, big woman. I see, hit the woman, she's on the ground, out. Woman walking away, scared. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like I say, 5 women, 5 white women getting this big 6'6", damn near 300-pound black autistic dude up off this woman. Come on, schools, we gotta do better. You gotta do better because but you know, back when I was going to school, there were more men. There were more black men, white men, whatever, but there were more men teaching at schools. And schools seem to be a little more calmer. But now women want to take over, women want to run things. Dudes don't have time for certain things. They can't punish the kids like they used to. Now, back in the day, you need that. When you allow that punishment, that corporal punishment in school, when these kids are acting up, oh yeah, you're going to need them dudes up in there. But when you take that away and you want to talk, well, we're going to need to talk to them. No corporal punishment. We'll put them in timeout. Oh, women can do that. Women can do that. But the problem is you got to have somebody that's going to enforce it on your worst students. And women ain't going to be able to do that. It says, let me keep going. Let me scroll. Where am I? Deeper claimed he would beat her up every time she takes away his game and spat on Nadich. They keep spelling her name different. One with a T, one without a T. And deputies escorted him away, according to the arrest report. In body cam footage, the student can be seen asking officers if he's going to jail while they handcuff him in the school. For how long, the student asked. I don't know, the officer replied. Moments later, he told the officers, F you. I don't want to go to jail. I have more important things to do before accusing them of manhandling him. According to Fox, there used to be now check this out. Here's the disturbing part, like the angry and mad part about how these folks are not getting the help. And so what they do, and I think it's systematic, for real, systemic, however you want to say it. They want to send our young brothers to jail. Even if you got autism. Remember that movie Life? Remember Can't Get Right? I think Can't Get Right, was autistic. The boy can hit a baseball across the field. I think he impregnated that white woman, she had his baby. He like the type of dude that if you cross him wrong, he would probably beat you with that bat nonstop without stopping, because that's just how their brain functions. And folks but he's in prison, but he really didn't deserve to be in jail. I think he was in there for chopping somebody up or killing somebody, but he ain't deserved to be in prison. He needed somewhere, like I say, a home or something, or a facility for people like that. So, like I said, here's the part like that I said it really angers me. It said, according to Fox, there used to be a school dedicated to troubled teens in Flagler County for pupils who struggle to function in a traditional classroom environment. That includes those who have been convicted of a crime or who were considered too violent to attend classes on traditional campuses. But Flagler County voters failed to pass a 50-cent property tax levy to pay for the school back in 2013. This reminds me of Ronald Reagan and the mental health crisis that we have been going through since he's been out of office back in the 80s. Because he cut funding for mental health facilities across the country, federal funding, which closed many hospitals, many programs. And it's when you start seeing a lot of homeless people, the homeless population increasing. So when you are riding around your local town and you see homeless people walking, them guys talking to themselves, look like they're yelling at you, but they don't even see you. They ain't pay attention to you. If you engage with them, they will probably beat you down. They just living their own life. Probably got autism, probably ex-drug addicts, probably current drug addicts, former military, what have you. Them been beat, probably got, concussions, brain damage, been through mental and physical abuse throughout their life, whatever. Can't function in society. Your great president, Ronald Reagan, back in the day, cut all those programs. And when you see these guys walking the streets, that is why. There is no money for them. But this is, October 19th, 2023. As you have seen over the last few months. There is money. There are billions of dollars that we can send in Ukraine for a war against Russia because we don't like Russia. And now with the Palestinian and Israeli war going on, well, let me say Hamas, because I don't want to put that on Palestinians because that wouldn't be right, because every Palestinian didn't bomb Israel. You know what I'm saying? You got people who live in their own life. But I'm not going to get into that. It is what it is. So when Hamas did what they did against Israel for whatever reason, there are, you know what I'm saying? Look the videos up, man. There's a lot of videos about the history of that. And I mean, look at it from both sides before you speak on this. I have seen videos, but I'm not going to speak on it. We got billions to send to Israel and Palestine. Got all kind of money just sitting there waiting, you know what I'm saying, just ready to be doled out. The immigration issue. With all these immigrants, tens of thousands to millions of immigrants coming across that southern border. Venezuelans, as a matter of fact, is who they pointing out, singling out. Hundreds of thousands of them coming over here paying, you know what I'm saying, landlords getting paid $9,000 a month for each one of them for rent in these sanctuary cities. Got millions, billions for that. Just come on. But you do not have enough money to take care of your citizens. I used to work at the VA. Them soldiers, them ex-vets, treated like crap. Still being treated like crap. That's one reason why I quit the VA, because I didn't like the way things, I just didn't like the way things were being handled, how they treated them veterans. You still got money for everybody but your own citizens. And so now, like I say, voters, if I was a teacher, I'd probably try to sue the county and sue the voters, because y'all could have avoided this situation if you paid, like say, you went ahead and paid that tax to help keep. Because see, all y'all thinking is the kids are bad, they need to go to jail, lock them up in prison, let them do hard time. I'm not paying taxes for them kids. Okay. But when you got kids that got autism, a mental defect, do you think that's fair for them to go to prison? Or do you think they should go to some kind of hospital or ward? In one of my nursing rotations, got a hospital out in Turtle. It's always a joke when somebody asks Philip, say, man, we're going to send you to Turtle. You need to go to Turtle or something like that. It's, I don't know, I forgot the damn name of the hospital. But it's a mental hospital. And they got wards for kids and wards for adults, men and women. And these people, got mental health issues. And when I say kids, I mean young kids. So there are places for non-functioning humans. But for some reason, Florida didn't have that. Now I'm gonna go to the second Daily Mail real quick. And it says that, the Florida teacher beaten unconscious refuses to back lighter sentence as he faces up to 30 years in prison. It says a Florida teacher who was beaten senseless by a 270-pound student has refused to support a lighter sentence for the teen. High school teacher, she was a student aide. She was a teacher's aide, unless she's a teacher now. But back then she was a teacher's aide. Joan Nadich was violently attacked by Brendan Deeper, then 17, in February, as she told him to stop playing on his Nintendo Switch. Hold on. Let me keep going. The autistic teen was seen in the video punching and kicking the educator in the back in the head until she lay on the ground unconscious. Like I said, she was already out when she hit the ground. Taken to a hospital after the assault. Like I said, like 5 women picking him up where the men at. You know what I'm saying? Probably took a couple of dudes to pull his boy off, but it took you 5 women to do it. What else? Let's say Deepa reportedly threatened to delete Nadich during his arrest. Again, anyway, Deepa was charged as an adult, facing 30 years in prison for the first-degree felony charge of aggravated battery. It says initially charged as a juvenile before being upgraded to an adult. To set to plead guilty. Is set to plead guilty in an attempt to avoid jail time. But I say he doesn't need jail time. He needs to be in the hospital. Again, if he's been charged, like They say he just got done with a program he finished. The boy shouldn't have been no regular school, but I think that school has a unit for kids like that can't function in society. You know, violent criminals, whatever, autistic kids, whatever. That's where the part of the school that he was in, because again, the voters didn't want to, help fund the schools to help keep these kids somewhere so that they can get the teaching and learning they got. It say Native has shown no interest in mitigating what penalties Deepa might face, according to the news site Flagger Live. Deepa had 3 prior battery arrests before the February attack. It has been a prison fight just last month, the Post reported. So the boy had been to prison, got into a fight, got out, and put him back in school. The boy has a history of violence. Why is he in this school in the first place? He said, I'm hopeful that the awareness of this incident being spread far and wide will prevent anyone else from even dealing with the trauma, physical healing, and disruption of everyday life this has caused, she said on a GoFundMe page that has raised more than $100,000. Deepa is slated to issue his plea later this month and will be sentenced after that in a separate proceeding. Matanza High School, where the assault occurred, has been beset with violence in recent years, the Post reported. Earlier this week, 11 students were arrested as a fight broke out in a crowded hallway. Deputies and administrators who tried to quell the chaos were shoved and punched. During the incident, the lack of respect demonstrated by these students is simply shameful, Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley said of the fight. But actions have consequences. Yes, it's easy for you to say that because you don't care. These kids got mental problems. I remember going back to my clinical rotation. I remember when it was in the one of the wards at the state hospital. And I was looking through the charts of some of the younger people, because there were people that were in their 20s, like seriously, in the adult ward. They just looked, either like they've been drugged like all day, like they just stay drugged. And looking at their charts, and the majority of them had a diagnosis of like what was it called? Marijuana. It wasn't marijuana, but it was marijuana. It's like marijuana dependence, whatever that medical term they use for it. Yeah, that was one of the diagnoses, that all these youngsters were dependent on marijuana, which means they probably started smoking at a young age. See, this is why I am so against giving kids any kind of drugs or medications like synthetic drugs or just anything that can alter the mind, because a child is grown and smoke synthetic drugs made from a lab that messes with their whole, their whole DNA. That messes with their, the development of their body and their brain. It's why if they take some drugs, it stunt their growth. If they take some things, it'll make them grow too big. Some things will make them autistic. Hey, messes with their learning development. But young kids should not take in anything that's going to distort their development at all. But like I say, most of those kids, in their 20s, had marijuana dependency. So for those of you who say weed is not addictive, man, go check these medical charts and then come back and talk to me. It said, another violent episode. This week, a 16-year-old student was arrested for biting a teacher who tried to stop her from fighting another girl. Now, you'll have people like that, like normal people like that. I think I had an aunt who bit a policeman back in the day who was trying to arrest her or do something to her. I don't know. And she was grown. And she got plenty of kids. She's probably one of my favorite aunts. But anyway, it happens. But like I said, you have people who will do stuff like that and just normal is all outdoors. But when you find out a child has autism, you gotta do things different. Like I say, prison, I don't think it's for them. But don't take my word for it. I saw this story and I reached out to a person who's in this field, a person who actually deals with autistic kids as a profession. Been doing it for a couple of years too. Not too many years, but got a BCBA. Talking about going back to school, to get another degree in this stuff. But this is something she enjoys doing. And I asked her about what she thought about this story. And let me see. Here we go. So let me pull up the messages, I think, and show y'all exactly what was said. Let's see. And okay, so I sent the story to the ones I just read you, and I said I would like your professional take on this story. Now, this person again, like I said, don't have 10 to 20, 30 years dealing with the young kids, but they're dealing with them now. So it says, and tell me, she said, I really hate that they're using the terms savagely and senseless, when if it was other kids, they would not be using those type of words. But take race out of it, I think 30 years is steep. There are homes for people on the spectrum. Now, undoubtedly, Florida don't have them homes because they voted against it. Like I said, there are homes for people on the spectrum who are highly aggressive that I feel like he could get help. Go to for help. He, show no interest in knowing what she might face because he's autistic. Of course, he's not going to care. He probably won't even care about going to prison. A lot of people on the spectrum don't even understand emotion. We constantly have to teach that to them. So prison isn't going to help, and he'll keep getting into fights. He needs to go away, but no prison. He's going to die there. I think it's her opinion. She feel like he's going to die. He might just be whooping some ass, 6'6", 270. Not trying to victim blame, but her saying put your Nintendo away is the only thing she said. Because normally there are contingencies. I've worked with kids up to 18, and you know what makes them tick. And I've had very aggressive kids, and saying one sentence wasn't triggering. But taking it away, getting their personal space has made several of my RBTs need assistance because, they was about to go flying across the room, basically what she's saying. So I kind of feel like there's more to the story, but I don't know, I could be wrong. And if he already got in trouble before, why did y'all keep him in that school? Y'all should have been and got him help well before this attack. And that's the same thing I thought. He should not, this should have never happened. Like I said, if I was that woman, I would sue the school district, I would sue the county. Because one, you don't have the proper staff. You don't have the right staff. I'm sorry, a bunch of white women are not gonna handle violent people. It's just not. Unless they doing the things where you see a lot of these teachers getting arrested for having these relations with these kids, trying to keep, if they want to do that to try to keep them calm. But no, I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, other than that, you're not going to keep these guys calm like that. Hell, like I say, they had a big old fight earlier, and they say deputies couldn't hold them down. But yeah, if I were her, I'd sue the district like a sun gun. You know what I'm saying? Get your money and know what you can do with that money. You can open up your own school for these kids, since you care about them so much, and that's the profession you chose. Shoot, do that. You just GoFundMe money and use them, and sue the schools so they can help you open up a school of your own. But anyway, so parents, don't ignore your children. Don't ignore their behaviors. Maybe he was put up for adoption because of his behavior. I don't know his whole backstory. I'll probably continue looking into this. But like I said, don't ignore your kids' behavior. If something is off, something doesn't look right, get them tested. Don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. Because if you ignore the obvious signs, they don't go away. They don't. And then they become a time where they get to a certain age in a certain size, and you will not be able to handle them. It will not make you a bad parent. It will not make you a sorry parent. You're actually, in my opinion, showing the kids more love, getting them the help they need. I mean, I can say not even on the same subject. You know, when my youngest was playing softball and was a pitcher, I could teach her pitching up to a certain point. But when she got to a point of where she was getting better, then it's like some of the pitches she was doing, it was hurting her arm. You know, I found was brought to me, but I reached out to a coach or organization who could take her to that next level to where she could pitch all day, every day, all, you know, for a whole tournament and not get injured. You know, might get tired because, you know, you're working, but and not get injured and get better. You know, pass that over to somebody who could do a better job than you. And that's with anything when it comes to children. If you can't do it, find somebody else who can. That's what you do. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. I don't think this boy needs to go to prison. It's simple as that. He needs to be in some kind of hell. Shoot him a text. Like I said, we got the hospitals. we got the program stuff out here that could probably help. That could probably deal with him better. Anyway, tell me what you think about the story. Leave your comments below. Share it with the world. And with that being said, I leave you in peace. And I'll see you in another.